Oh yeah!
Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Planet Coaster 2 with Cookie Pirate. Today we are picking back up in the Viking Park. I think we're just gonna mess around for a little while and keep getting these things popping up on my screen. Overlays and notifications to adjust the graphics settings and all of that good old stuff. Not really worried about it. It's just when it pops up, it kind of takes your attention there for a minute. I'm like, do I need to do something with this, or do I just want to go away on its own, or do I need to click out of it, or what? I usually have that stuff disabled by default, but I've recently done a couple software updates and stuff, so that might have something to do with it. Might have to go back in and turn them off. But yeah, anyway, we're just gonna kind of get in here and mess around for the early part of the stream, the first few minutes or so. And then we'll look and see kind of what we want to do in terms of expansions, or kind of taking some existing things and improving them. I don't know yet. It was kind of a more spontaneous decision to get on and stream tonight. I know I've not been on for several days, and then I actually really was not sure if I was going to jump on today, but I felt like I wanted to, and I felt like I should, considering I've been off all the rest of this week. I have missed it, but it was a much needed break. I was just kind of burnt out from every day, and some of the more recent streams had been longer. In fact, let me look and see. Yeah, 4 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. This one was over 5, 3, 2.5, 4. Yes, it's some pretty lengthy streams as of late, and I was just worn out, and also glad I didn't stream the past few days, because I was just wiped out after work. So, here we are. And we've got a pretty lengthy line for this giant inverted boomerang. And real quick, look at how close their feet are to the top of that building. That's one of the rides I think they would have to put like a maximum height limit on to make sure your feet don't clip the building. Hey Leon, how are you? So yeah, anyway. It just worked out perfectly that way that I did this, station building here, and the way I profiled, because I actually built the ride first, and then I built the station. I said, I hope this is enough room. Ooh, Vandal got kicked out of the park. Yet they're letting him on the train, really? He should have to walk. He should be escorted out by security. Hey Maria, welcome. This ride would work for people who want to get shorter. Oh no! That's a little bit twisted. Oh wow! Take a look at that. This line is absolutely full. Boy, am I glad to see that, even though this says it's aging for some odd reason. That makes no sense. I'm doing okay, Leon. It's good to be back. It was a much needed few days off, I'll tell you. Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. Oh, no wonder. There's something seriously wrong here. The reason the line is full is because something is stuck. Oh, she is not a happy camper. Oh, she's panicked. You can see it on her face. Get me off of here! And, the same thing with those two. Well, she's happy. Oh, no, never mind. She looks happy. She's not. So something got stuck somewhere, and I don't understand how that would have happened. Unless it's just due to a bug that has occasionally... Oh, and no, there's one right there. Yeah, they're not happy either. Alright, so let's see what's going on. There's not even a train in the station. It is, not the Smiler, Leon. Just hold on. I will, I'll tell you in a minute. Alright, so what we're gonna have to do... Shut the ride down, test the ride, and now we'll open it up and everybody can just get back on it. I don't understand what the issue was. I was gonna say that had to be too good to be true. No, so anyway, Leon, this is Skogsra that actually Bromik made it. And it's a Gerstlauer Infinity just like the Smiler, and I think the track is colored by default in the same that the Smiler is. So I think that's why it kind of looks like it. Can we get a POV on it? Yes, we can. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Maria, they're probably waiting in the queue since your last stream. Well, of course they were. Alright. Alright, let me get back to this, and we'll actually do a front bumper POV. I did not make this, that was Bromik, so be sure to give him credit for the ride. He did a fantastic job with it. And it's been kind of a sour topic for the park because it's a fantastic ride, but there was few people going on it for some odd reason. Like the line, it was always a station wait until then I think the coaster bugged in a load or something like that. That's cool when you go through those rolls and there's the oncoming train. And that's it. Not a super long ride, but not terribly short either. But yeah. What I don't understand is why this coaster is considered aging. If you look at the Prestige and then the Reputation and Appeal, even though it has a really high scenery bonus and a very high base ride experience. So I don't understand that, and it's kind of been a sour point, given that this should be one of the more popular rides in the park. Yeah, you're welcome, man. This is the Eurofighter. I actually built it and then it bugged, and Bromik fixed it up for me. Kind of in opposite ends of the park. Well, we'll give this a go. This is a smaller scale. Got some kind of interesting elements to it. And that's it. Fairly short ride. Pretty simple. Boom. Get to see right inside the car in front of us. Interesting how that works out. We've got a few people lounging around, but not really many people getting in this pool. And I think it's because it's been taken over by this up here that we built. The prestige is considerably higher for it. And it's definitely due to the scenery around it. Kind of infinity pool looking over the fjord out over that way. This, I think, is actually counting toward the pool prestige, even though you can't see it at all. I mean, these definitely do. What we would probably need to do over here is just slap some trees around it. Maybe some other extras or something like that. Try to kind of boost up the scenery around this to raise the prestige of this pool. And you'd get more people in it, although it looks like you're actually getting a few going in now. Yep. Did you see that? These people stood right here and actually jumped into the water in the shallow portion. That probably would hurt if you did that in the real world. Maybe not too bad, but no, I wouldn't want to do that. Jump barefoot into the shallow water. Barefoot. Probably would not feel very good. So, I mean, in wading depth or something like that, you'd at least be slowed down a little bit by the water, but... That holds true to the opening screen of the game that says warning, to the effect of warning, guests in Planet Coaster have weird actions around water that you should not try at home. Hey, Bromik, welcome. Glad you're back and glad you're doing well. Hope your break helps. It did. It did. I needed it, and... well, I was pretty wiped out, and this week at work sucked, to put it nicely. And so every day I got home, I had no energy to stream, I had no energy to even turn on the computer and play this off stream. 2 of the days I didn't even touch my piano. Well, no, that's not true. One of them, the other day, I sat down for about 5 minutes and I said, not tonight. So, yeah. Hey, Jimbers, how are ya? But yeah, Bromik, it is good to be back. I needed a break. I was burnt out a little bit last week from streaming every night for some of them were actually quite lengthy streams. But it's nice to kind of come back with a refreshed feeling for it. Now, tomorrow night I'm not going to be on because I have to work. I took today off. Leon, who created that coaster? What coaster? Yeah, this pool is getting a lot of attention, and that's a good thing, but I don't want it to take away too much from this one over here. And we'll put some stuff between them. You gonna get to Carowinds this weekend? Nope. Well, let me rephrase that. Definitely not tomorrow since I gotta work. Most likely not Sunday because the weather actually is looking like it's gonna be pretty ugly. And even without the rain, there's forecast for high winds, and so I don't know how that would affect some of the coasters. The shorter ones like Copperhead and Afterburn probably wouldn't be too bothered by it, but if Fury won't run, then there's no point in going. Because that's like the whole point of me going up for the evening is just to lap Fury at night. The one you showed the POV on, the one that looks like the Smiler. This one here. Bromik built that. He actually built that one by hand. Because a lot of these coasters I build and then somebody like Bromik or Jimpers takes the ride and improves it and stuff. But Bromik, actually built that one from scratch when I said I wanted a nice Gerstlauer in the park. And he did an absolutely phenomenal job with it. So, anyway, back to Carowinds. So it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to go this weekend. The weather for next weekend looks fantastic, so I'm going to try to make it up there. I think we definitely could do some scenery around this pool, just to kind of liven it up a little bit. There's nothing going on back here that we even need to do anything with, so what I'm going to do to give it a start is get these Taiga large trees, align to surface. We'll turn avoid paths off and ignore scenery. Yeah, he did a fantastic job with that ride. It's criminal how it is aging in this park, and I don't know what's going on with that, but it really gets on my nerves. Because it is one of the better coasters in the park. Give me a spruce. There we go. Ah, not that. Okay. No. Yeah, we'll take that there. Yeah, fine. I've also been, the last several days enjoying the ongoing Chopin competition in, over in Warsaw. They hold every 5 years, and I think I've mentioned this before on here, but, for anybody that knows a little bit about classical music, Frédéric Chopin is my favorite composer for the, piano. And every 5 years over in Warsaw, they have a competition where pianists from all over the world go and perform and basically compete. And so you get to hear a lot of the same music, some of which I absolutely love, so I don't really complain. Some of which I don't care for as much. But it's cool because you get to hear so many professional or like pro-am level pianists play the same pieces in their own, their own style, their own way. And it's really interesting to get the different perspectives of those. A few of which are pieces that I know, as in the sense of I can play. Ones that I'm working on. Certainly many that I want to learn, and then just a very few that I've actually performed. I've thought of putting some piano stuff up on my YouTube channel, but alright, I haven't been able to do this for a few days. Security got him anyway. Out! Well, it's been a little while since I've been able to do it. 1, 2, 3, out. No, I didn't even get the 1, 2, 3. Oh, man. Oh, what's going on here? Why is this thing sitting at the top of the lift hill? That's unusual. You missed saying that? Aw. Well, I will make up for it, alright? There's never any shortage of people getting kicked out of the park for stupid stuff. I, actually bought a lot of stuff the last few days. I got a new case for my iPad. And I use my iPad mainly for piano music. Believe it or not, I just use my phone to like surf the web and stuff like that. Generally, the only time I'll actually turn on my computer is if I'm going to play some sort of game, or if I need extreme ease for typing. I don't like typing from a phone. I don't like typing on the iPad, but I do have a keyboard for that, so I can do that. But if I'm just browsing the web or something like that, I usually just use my phone. But I use my iPad for piano music, for drawing occasionally, reading, and, you know, for many months I haven't had a case on it, and I had to go to the Apple store earlier this week, and while I was there I said, let me look at iPad cases, and found one of the really nice, just basic ones. I don't even know why I'm going on about iPad cases and all of that whatnot. But I mean, it is nice to buy stuff. Kind of, they say like retail therapy or something like that, but I'm not really a big shopper. So, maybe that's why it is kind of exciting when I get, you know, a bunch of, or even a few cool new things or something like that. This coaster's always doing well. What's this Wild Mouse? Or not Wild Mouse, the spinning coaster. I just think of Wild Mouse when I see the cars. Look at this, 2% Dizzy Dane was so fun. 1% actually disliked the ride. I have never seen that before in this game until this ride. So I don't know if that means I screwed something up. I don't know. And also, almost nobody's getting on and riding it. At the moment, I'm giving my shot at an RMC hybrid. Okay. Alright, we need to get a janitor. Find somebody looking for work. This first one. All the way on the opposite side of the platform. If you need something to do, please help me clean that up. Yeah, Jimpers, let me know if you want me to check out the RMC hybrid. That'd be pretty cool to see. Oh, Shem, what's going on, man? It's been a little while. Hope you're good. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. How about you? I really did miss streaming. I will say that. As much as I really enjoyed taking a few days off, and every single one of those days I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not streaming, but that's more so because I'm getting home just absolutely exhausted from work. And not in a very great mental or emotional, I guess, probably would be more accurate, state of mind. I really did miss it, though. Just without getting into too many details and stuff like that, work has been just terrible, to put it bluntly. Yesterday, I about walked out in the middle of the day. But I'm not going to go off about it. I'm not here for that. So good to have a break sometimes, and taking a break from social media is also good. Yes, and I don't really do social media other than YouTube, I guess, if you count that. But yes, you're right. Sounds like you needed the rest for sure. Yeah, I definitely did. Without a doubt. This park? Oh, wait, this place? Yeah, okay. This place is transformed. Aha, looks completely different. It really does, but it's coming along nicely, if I may say so. Man, you'd have to go back to my January streams when I had my old computer before it broke and I was out of commission for several months. That was before pretty much all of you had actually like found my channel and started hanging out here. It looks amazing, definitely. Yeah, it's come such a long way. I'm actually really happy with this. We had a little nothing at the beginning. Just a big blob of path and the invert that went right over it, and then another coaster that got taken up. And then this one. This is the oldest coaster in the park. And I'm still thinking it needs to be revamped. Or just replaced. Alright, somebody did something. Go! Go! What'd he do? Oh, yeah, he picked a pocket. Alright, Leon, here you go. Start your count. 1, 2, 3. Out! It's more fun watching the vandals get kicked out. The pickpocketers are almost always caught, and they happen so much more frequently than the vandals getting caught and stuff. So, but hey, I'll take either one. It's fun watching people get kicked out for breaking the rules. So, wait just a second. Glad I found your channel. Love these Planet Coaster streams. Man, I appreciate that. That's why I do this stuff. I say, I hope everybody was glad they found my channel. Probably did if they're hanging out all the time, you know. But I'm really glad that you all found it too. Like that means a lot to have you all here hanging out. And I know a lot of you can't make it every night, or can't stay a long time, you know, you pop in, say hi, hang out for a few minutes and go. And that's totally fine, you're not obligated to spend any amount of time here. But I genuinely enjoy having you all. And I encourage you to stay as much as you can, but I will never fault anybody for not. There's my favorite ride, Cookie, the top spin. This is the Mecha Roller one that kind of goes crooked. And I would just imagine that one is even worse. Although, as I'm watching it, I do notice it doesn't seem to tumble quite as much as the regular top spin rides. At least not yet. See, like, that wouldn't bother me too much. That would. That would right there. And yeah, for sure, it's very nice to watch. Man, I appreciate that. I try to be chill. Make it low-key. The big thing about it is, though, just trying to engage with people. And I love interacting with people. Even even to a fault sometimes, to the point that it distracts me and I don't get as much done as I want to. But I'm okay with that because I just have so much fun interacting with you all. Like, I probably would get maybe double the amount of stuff done if I didn't. But then, do y'all just really want to watch me do stuff the whole time and not interact? I don't think so, and I don't want to do that on my stream either. You haven't seen it, really? It's a... Oh, here we go. Clicked on coasters first. It's a, So the overpower, I think, is the traditional top spin. Yeah. Because this one you sit in 2 rows and you go back and forth. And you see the arm is the pretty traditional. The mecha roller, which is right here, it's a little bit different because they sit, they seat the riders on both sides in a single row. Separated, of course, by the main bar. And you can tell these look a little bit different and have, like, different hydraulic systems, so they can kind of twist at different angles, causing it to bend and stuff. And it's in the, I'm pretty sure it is in the default vanilla game. Like, you don't need a DLC for it or anything. Now, what I don't know is what the real-world basis for this type of flat ride is. I mean, these top spins, this is pretty common throughout all sorts of theme parks and fairs and stuff like that, but I haven't looked, to be fair, but I don't know what the basis for the mecha roller actually is. So, if anybody has any insight into that, I'd be curious to know. It's kind of interesting. Hey, Roblox, how are you? Different coaster types, too. I would absolutely love to try my hand someday at... Where is it on here? No, that's a B&M. Am I just missing it or what? Man, am I just oblivious. Oh, right here. Okay. I would love to try my hand at one of these aerodynamics 40 coasters. Like X2. Ejanika. And then I'm trying to remember the third one. It's somewhere in China, I'm pretty sure. Those two are actually SNS, but they basically got the track and car concept from Aero. I would love to see more of these built. Yeah, I was thinking you meant the 40. That's right, yeah. Because, well, I mean, this kind of gives it away, because I look at it, and then I'm like, no, that's B&M's, that's not the right one. So, yeah. Dinoconda, that's right, yep. I couldn't remember the name of it. In fact, where is that? Let me look it up. China Dinosaurs Park in Jiangsu. I don't know where that is. Let me look on the map. Looks like it's kind of northwest of Shanghai. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it looks like Shanghai is probably the closest, like, well-known major city. There's only one of 3 4D hypercoasters in the world. Well, it's really one of only 3 4D coasters in the world if you don't count the free spins. Will Shun beat me to it? Not by much. I don't even want to attempt to try, you know, to build one of those on stream. But, at least not now, but I would really like to try it someday. See what we could come up with. So, man, I really haven't done much since I've been on, just kind of hanging out, looking at stuff. I mean, we added the scenery over here, but... Alright, ow! Ouch! That hurt! I tried to stand up and I just smacked my knee on the corner of my desk. Ah! What I was gonna say before that happened was, alright, I gotta get up for a quick second, and, I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. My knee is still in one piece. You invoked the painful bash when you mentioned arrow. Oh, fair point. Take care. Be careful. Yeah, yeah. So... I think I want to redo this path this way. That'll give us a little bit more room up here. My thought is to kind of move all of the shops and the guest service counter and the changing rooms and dryers and everything like that toward the front, and that frees up some space over here for some different stuff. I would really like to create a diving pool. Deep water with some high diving boards and stuff like that. And I mean, we could do something like that over here, or we could put it over this way. On the far side of the park. Or not the park, but the far side of the open area. I guess you could say the far side of the water park. And you know, I actually had an idea. And I'm gonna float it. Alright, I've just opened up a poll, and I'm kind of curious to see what you all think. Because that was an idea that I had relatively recently, and I've done a little bit of thinking about it. So, of course, Busch Gardens, Tampa. I love the park. I was there earlier this year. I'm planning to go back in the next couple months. If we do that, you should use Montu. I also wouldn't mind making Kumba. Ugh. Yeah, no, you do really well at that. I was thinking Kumba's a ride that I would really like to remake. Sheikra, really, any of the B&Ms, yeah. Well, I can tell you what the Trouble ride is going to be. Well, unless you have a mod that makes it. But, Tigress. Because you can't do, like, station pass-throughs and swing launches and stuff like that. Yep. Yeah, you're right, Shem. I'm stoked. Alright, let me go ahead and... yeah, Cobra's Curse will be difficult. But I think doable. The only thing that you'd miss out on is the elevator lift. But who knows, a mod might actually enable that. Put the spinning train on the motorbike coaster. Okay. Someone's already made, Tigress? Really? Alright, let me pause, because I know I'm going to screw up a lot of the path here for people. We're going to have to go all the way back to here. That's going to be a lot of people getting temporarily relocated. Not Tigress itself. So what do you mean? Oh yeah, okay, skyrocket too, yeah. See, I would imagine those would require, you know, some sort of a mod, to enable, like, the swing launches and stuff like that. Alright, for the short term, we're gonna do this. Eventually, I think we're also going to rework this whole area back here. For now, the main point is redoing this over here so we have more room. We'll tie that in like that for now. Alright, so yeah, 4 votes for yes, and 1 for just make the coasters only. Interesting. Okay. I thought more people would say just do the coasters and not the entire park. I'm not really sure if I would want to attempt the entire park. But definitely at least the coasters. I would definitely be here for a recreation of a real park. I gave up on Kentucky Kingdom because I found following a real park too confining. But the park I started has taken a life of its own. Well, yeah, I would imagine that would be pretty likely. Nice, just the bridge across. Yeah, that's basic. It's also slightly lower. Let me tell you what. Let's replace the benches. All of this will fit, you know, better this way as well. I hear one of our entertainers. Oh, I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Alright, pick your hammer up. Okay. Well, the kids like it. The coasters are done and up on the workshop even T3. But they're my versions of them, so the ratings aren't low. Alright, let me turn that down, and let's run that kinda... Let me turn the angle off. Tell you what, let's do that to make that accessible. And we'll link that around. Just for now, I'm doing this. It's obviously going to change. I wanted the main path kind of set back. And, I'll work on moving all of this stuff around in a bit. Let's turn that down. Hey, Bromik is still the top creator. I believe it. Awesome. They did, thank you. Let me get caught back up here. Going to visit my aunt and uncle tomorrow. They went to Egypt on holiday. They got back yesterday. My friends went to Egypt last year and loved it. Hope your aunt and uncle had a good time. They did, thank you. Yeah, they are planning on going again next year. That's awesome. Egypt is one of those places I think would be really cool to visit for the history. My uncle's been to Egypt several times. He said it was phenomenal, but he said the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids, they don't look like what you see in pictures and stuff like that. It's like the Taj Mahal in India, where the buildings themselves are really nice, but then you look at what's around, and it's not that kind of pretty picture postcard sort of view and stuff like that, because you have like a lot of buildings with the cities in the background. In the case of the Taj Mahal, I've seen a lot of trash in the background, unfortunately. Code, front bumper POV, new park, finally you're here, yes. Alright, Jimpers, I'll check it out in a minute. JP, welcome, man. Yeah, I needed a few days off. Actually, to tell you what, just for the sake of convenience right now, we'll do that, and then we'll move all of these buildings around here. We'll redo this path. Well, actually, we may be able to keep this one, but I might just do kind of a shortcut down there, and then down over here when we add something this direction. Like, I really do not feel like I've accomplished much in the first 59 minutes of the stream. But just getting back on after several nights and, you know, catching up with everybody in chat and stuff. I don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight. I still have a few things to do, kind of around the house. I haven't really eaten dinner. Now, to be fair, I did have a late lunch. Blackout. I hope this ride's not... Oh, this is a large ride. Holy cow. I see it right now. Bump it up just slightly. It looks like no other areas go underground. I'll accept that. Give it a ride. Also, guess what? What? This is a fast lift hill. Feels like, at least. Wow! That is a whippy roll, and then a really nice 0G stall. Sideways airtime. More. Some S-curves. We double up. Was that a triple up, actually? Get a slower roll right there. Yeah, Jimpers, this was really cool. I enjoyed this a lot. Somehow started a Halloween park without the sorcery pack. How'd you manage that? Good test results. Minus 2.7 on the negative G's. That's awesome. 8 pops of airtime. Just under 3 seconds of duration. 77 miles an hour. That is a long coaster. It's a mile long. And it is a long ride. Time-wise as well. Use the fairy tale theme. It's the closest I can get to Halloween. That's definitely doable. I would even say the fairy tale theme is more suitable for Halloween. Yeah, really good ride. What I like about this is you actually did a pre-lift with a considerable enough drop to make it interesting. And a lot of people, some people here that have showcased their rides, I myself, have built coasters with what is intended to be a really good pre-lift, and then there's just not enough speed going through it. This one there is. So it's that nice steep drop out of the station that's also placed high enough that gives it enough momentum to make these first 3 pops of airtime exciting enough. Nice steep drop while profiled. I think the drop is about 50 degrees. Yeah, it looks like 45 to 50 to me. It's kind of interesting how you really didn't bank this turn, and I noticed that riding it, but I don't think it's a problem because it's high enough that the laterals don't get super high on it. I did notice that though. I was like, I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be like outward banked and it just didn't end up that way or what. I'm sure you didn't forget. I figured that was something intentional. And then kind of the same thing right here. It doesn't really bank in either direction. But I think that's fine. It's mild enough. And then I really like this. This is incredibly interesting. You go into like an outward banked, yeah, well, it definitely is outward banked, and then it goes to 90 degrees. And then you rise up, and then you roll through. I love it. These death rolls, downward barrel rolls. And this is profiled so nicely that I can say with confidence I have not seen one better in game. Like, that's fantastic. I wish I could make, you know, a death roll like that. It's just phenomenal. Really nice. Is this beyond vertical? Yeah, whoa. Just slightly. Kind of a turnaround right here. Steel Vengeance has the same element. What is the name of it? This right here? Or which one are you talking about, Shem? I want to ride it in real life. Me too! I'd have so much fun on this. Alright, yeah. So you come out of that there, you've got this nice double up. Then a turn. Got a barrel roll. And then pretty good 0G roll. Kind of crossed. This is borderline like 0G stall. It definitely is more of that. The outer banked death roll. Okay. I don't know as I made it up. I mean, it's a death roll nonetheless. But it does start with that outer bank as opposed to a traditional inward bank that you would see on, like, Iron Wazi. But I really like that. It's off-axis in a way that is kind of going to catch people by surprise and really interesting. What's up, gentlemen, Mr. Voice? Cookie Pirate, don't leave me like that again. Alright, hold on. Let me grab a Swiffer mop. If anybody gets that reference, I owe you a cookie. That is going to be pretty vague. But if anybody gets that, I will be thoroughly impressed. So, I like how after the 0G stall, it actually comes around into a curve. A really nice moment of positive G-forces. And then you've got a couple moments of outer banked air... Well, no, not outer. No, because they're banked in the direction of the curve. But just banked airtime. And then Papa airtime. Yeah, okay, it was a double up, not a triple up. It felt like a double, but probably I thought 1, 2, 3 without thinking that you're actually going back down there. And then come through there. Another barrel roll. And very small pop of airtime. And then up again into the final brakes. This is a fantastic coaster. It takes up a lot of land, so you're going to need a pretty good open plot. This is a good place to do a bunch of like scenery work, however, or if you really wanted to get ambitious and maximize your space, you definitely could fit, you know, path, shops, maybe even a few like small rides in here. So it's definitely a workable footprint. Basically a double up into a double down. Oh yeah, I see it now. I didn't realize that before. Yep, one, and then it levels off. Kind of. It's still going downward here, but then it steepens again into that. That's really cool. I really like the mix of elements on this ride. It's got a great pre-lift. You've got this really cool non-banked turn with airtime at the top. Kind of another just course reset, really. Big pop of airtime. The outer banked death roll, as we define it. Somebody needs to go on Coasterpedia and create an entry for that outer banked death roll. Really nice turnaround here. Yeah, this is just all in all a fantastic RMC hybrid. Really well done. If I had room in my park, I would use it. Don't hate on me, y'all. I'm not a fan of Woodies. They look obnoxiously hideous and are very loud while riding and freak me out. But I understand their importance, so I'm not hating on this. Well, Dale, I understand your point. I personally am not a really big fan of wooden coasters as well. That said, there are some fantastic ones out there, if they're well maintained. And you gotta love the old classics. Jimpers, thanks again for sharing that. That's fantastic. JP, there's a tilt. Oh, let me go back up. I kind of made a crazy Vekoma tilt. There's a tilt going into the station. That sounds actually really cool. Alright, let me go back into this here. Man, got a really good turnout tonight. Happy. So, yeah, I really appreciate the importance of, you know, classic wooden coasters, and I think if you create a newish wooden coaster and maintain it well, that it's a great ride. I agree with you on the majority of Woodies, which I think sadly are built and then just not improved and neglected. Or you just have a few that straight out the gate suck. Hurler. Carowinds. They are loud. That doesn't bother me. Kumba's a super loud coaster, and I love Kumba. But there definitely is a place for them. And where I'm gonna disagree with you, though, RMC hybrids are not really wooden coasters. They are steel coasters by definition with usually wooden supports. But the way they ride, where I'm gonna, you know, vary even more, kind of deviate from your opinion, is they have a ton of elements that you would never find on traditional wooden coaster. The American Eagle at Six Flags Illinois, Goliath and Zeus and Pegasus in Wisconsin Dells. Geez, don't get me started on Pegasus. That thing reeks. So my first roller coaster ever was Comet at Hershey Park. To this day, still a fantastic ride. Comet will have a special place in my heart for being the first, not only the first wooden coaster, but the first coaster, period, that I ever went on. I can give you a code, and JP dropped it in the chat. Alright, let me check it out real quick. The ones that I can think of that I've been on. I mentioned Comet. Hurler. I genuinely think those are the only two wooden coasters that I've really been able to go on. Unfortunately, I did not get to go on the original Gwazi when I went to Busch Gardens for the first time. My first coaster was Mighty Canadian Mindbuster. Oh, there you go. When I was about 10. There's a wooden coaster at Alton Towers called Wicker Man. It's a great ride and very fast. Yes, I've actually seen the POVs of Wicker Man. It looks like a great ride. In my opinion, the best wooden coaster in England is Grand National, and that's 90 years old. Not familiar with that one. Big Dipper also has one of my favorite first drops, and that's 100 plus years old. I am familiar with the Big Dipper. Oh, Mighty Canadian Mindbuster. Where was that? Canada? Dale, you wise guy. Alright, let me see where it is on here. That's it right there. I'm going to age myself, but I rode Hercules at Dorney Park when it was new and didn't suck, and rode it near the end of its life when it sucked. I love Wicker Man. I'm going back in a few weeks. Night rides on the back row are very fun. Alright, I am going to give you all a chance to guess. There are two wooden coasters that I'm thinking of that I would really like to ride someday. They both do exist still, of course. One of them I think is going to be pretty easy to guess. The second one maybe not so much, but throw your ideas out in chat. Meanwhile, let's give JP's coaster a ride here. Hercules was awesome. I never got to ride it because the first time I went to Dorney, it was the year, I believe the year that Hydra opened. It may have been the year after. nice drawn-out barrel roll there. Ouch. Voyage at Holiday World, no. But that actually would be... That would be a cool coaster to ride. That just wasn't the one I was thinking of. Or one of the two. Cyclone at Coney Island, no. Alright, Bromik guessed the first one, Beast. But I really want to go on it for, you know, the enjoyment of a night ride through the woods and stuff. More for the experience rather than the fact that it's a record-breaking coaster. Shem guessed the Beast as well. Boulder Dash, no. I said the second one was going to be a little tougher to guess. I can give you a hint. JP, your ride failed. It, stalled out at the top here. And it rolled back. I see exactly what you were intending to do. No hints. Mystic Timbers, no. El Toro, no. But those are both good coasters that I would like to get on. But, oh! We just had a collision! I was born in 85, so I'm definitely an oldie. Son of Beast doesn't exist anymore. So that's automatically disqualified. Although I will say, had I been able to ride Son of Beast, given the opportunity, I would have. T-Express, no. Wicker Man, no. Outlaw Run, I don't count that. Let me see. Well, oh, it is a wooden by definition. But yeah, I wasn't counting that. Because when I think RMC, I don't think like traditional wooden. Babies, you're all babies, lol. Shivering Timbers? Nope. Alright, I'm going to give you a hint, because this is getting tough. It is on the west coast of the US. Just turned 40, I don't think I'm a baby. I'm 34, so I'm younger than a few people here, which is actually really nice, because sometimes I feel like a lot of the people that watch my streams, both Planet Coaster and my Flight Sim streams, are quite young in comparison to me. Lightning Rod, no. Ghost Rider, oh! I forgot about Ghost Rider. I would actually probably take that over the one that I was thinking of. It's not far from... Gold Rusher's not wooden. Alright, Jimper's got it. Yep, right there. Apocalypse. Yep. You did not, but you're close. Yep. I've not long turned 30. Okay, so you're just a touch younger than I am, Leon. I feel like I get a lot of youngins, I'll say. You know, I could say straight up kids, but I probably get a lot of people that are in their early 20s as well on my streams. Which, hey, if you're 15 or 75, I don't care. Glad to have you. If you're 5, however, I would encourage you to not be on the internet. You'll just get your feet wet with me, but gosh, you go over to some other channels or some other places, then yeah. It's taking a full plunge. Alright, so you had to Google apocalypse, really? I didn't think it was that obscure. But if you're not, you know, familiar with the West Coast coasters and stuff like that, then I totally understand that. So I don't know about you all, but Six Flags Magic Mountain has been on my bucket list for many years of a park to go to. Kind of the coaster capital of the world, in a way. Kind of arguably between there and Cedar Point. Don't give me that tone, young man. Oh, you got me. Just a bunch of middle-aged men playing Planet Coaster. We did Alton Towers to celebrate my birthday. I wanted to celebrate big for my big 30th. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh yes, yeah, Shem, you're right. Terminator the Ride. It used to be, and then it was renamed to Apocalypse. Dale put a whole list together. Voyage, Ghost Rider, Thunderbolt, Mystic Timbers, The Beast, American Eagle, Lost Coaster, Gold Striker, and Thunderhead. Most of those on there, I would say those are good picks, and the ones that I wouldn't is simply because I'm not familiar with them. Should I wait for a guard? Alright, count to 3 in the chat. Oh wait, the guard's gonna get him anyway. Out! I want to go on Revolution at Magic Mountain. It may be old, but it has been in many movies and TV shows I watched. Yeah, you know, believe it or not, I would really like that coaster. So, when Super Duper Looper at, Hershey Park opened, I think it was just a year, maybe 2 after Revolution. But they called Super Duper Looper the, Revolution of the East Coast. 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out, and then Brahmet with a... Is that an O? Yeah, it must be. It doesn't look like a 0. Been watching a series called Failed Coasters, and it's been fascinating. I am going to ask a very controversial question. That would be a fat fingers typed an O when I was trying to type something else? Oh, okay. Alright. There we go. What channel is the show called Failed Coasters? It's on YouTube, I'll find a link. What is the question? I just opened it. Chanchu Brahmi... What? Such as the movie Roller Coaster Great Film. That's one I'm not familiar with. I would kind of like to hear you all explain your opinions. But so far we have 2 votes and both are for partially. I'm curious as to why you think that. I'm not going to say what I think yet, but I will eventually. We have a vote for not sure, and a 3rd vote for partially. Okay. Partially failed because it bankrupted Arrow, but wasn't a failure because it has spawned 2 much better versions in Asia. I agree with you about the first part, but are the 2 in Asia actually much... Would you say they're much better than the ones in, or well, I should say the one here, X. Or X2 now, of course. Because I'm not sure I fully agree with that. You could probably say they're better, but I don't think I would say that they're much better. They seem pretty similar. Alright, we have 1 vote for yes, it was failed. I'm curious to hear somebody speak up about that one. Oh, Leon says, not sure as I never heard of it. Yeah, so it was originally X when it opened. And it had this hideous, purple-yellow paint scheme. And then, of course, they revamped it as X2, which it is still known as. R.I.P. Chris, what? When Alan Shilk or Shilky, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to say that, pitched it, it was for a more scaled back... What? Well, Shem, I was right in the middle of reading it and you pulled in. Basing it on vloggers I've watched who rode all three. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, look at that there. Guy is sleepy. Shut your eyes and take a nap for a few minutes, I suppose. I don't know. We've got a couple people on floats. That's good to see. Alright, gonna step up real quick. We'll be right back. Alright. Sorry about the delay, folks. Sorry, so Shulky's prototype design was simple as you'd expect for a prototype. But Six Flags said, can you make it a hyper and extend the layout? Yeah. I actually watched a cool documentary about that. And he showed the original concept of it. And then they built it up. I mean, it's still a really good ride. A lot of hardcore enthusiasts say, even today, X2 is one of the best coasters out there. Can imagine having a nap on a coaster? I can if it makes you pull 7 to 8 Gs. It'll be the shortest nap ever. Holly and his family rode the X2 coaster on June 23rd, 2022. After exiting, he complained of pain, collapsed, and lost consciousness. He was taken to the hospital. A CT scan revealed a catastrophic brain injury, a subdural hematoma. I don't know what that means. He died the following day with the coroner listing blunt head trauma. Man. Yeah, that is awful. That's why I said R.I.P. Chris. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense now. And yeah, absolutely R.I.P. Still wondering about Stardust Racers. A lot of different stories about what happened. Yeah. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to get into that too much. Something definitely went wrong. And I'm not going to discriminate against anybody who's disabled or handicapped or anything like that. But I do have some concerns about those people going on coasters. Now, the last time I was at Carowinds, back in June, there was a guy in a wheelchair who got helped into a seat on the coaster in the back row, which was a little bit concerning. But I got on the coaster in the back row with him, and he had a fantastic time and loved it. He did totally fine. He had the upper body strength. And he was secured in. He didn't have any loss of mobility, you know, above the waist. So I wasn't too concerned. But I always do get a little bit worried of that. And I wonder about these people in wheelchairs who may have even further limited mobility, like above the waist. Or if they have any sort of mental handicap. And again, I say that not to disparage any of those people at all. But from a safety perspective, it does concern me a little bit. Because I would hate for, you know, something terrible to happen. My mom didn't want me to go on the Smiler after what happened, but it didn't scare me. Yeah, I get that. You know, sometimes things are sensationalized, like they're made to be a bigger deal than they really are. But then there are some times where they're not, and they really, on the surface and at depth, are as significant as it seems. So, that's really why good decision making comes into play when a person chooses to ride or not to ride something like a roller coaster with a history of issues, or even something that hasn't really had any like high profile issues, but just out of knowing what could happen. And I'm not saying in terms of like the coaster malfunctioning or something like that, although that definitely is a factor as well, but just how a person responds to a normally operating coaster. Like, would I go on something that almost everybody blacks out on? Well, I'm a little bit crazy, so I'd probably do it, but let's say that was a little bit different. Let's say people were constantly getting off that ride not feeling well. That would change things. I've heard that side I've heard that there was a metal piece broke off, flew into his face. That would be contrary to what I've heard that the ride was operating normally. And I would imagine that an investigation would have revealed that somehow. They would have either found a missing metal piece off of a beam, or maybe a piece of the track, or, God forbid, like another train. Or not another train, but another car, perhaps maybe in front of him or something like that. I take it he wasn't in the front row. So, but that would run contrary to the report that the coaster was operating normally. It's tragic either way. I hate it for the family. I mean, I hate it for the guy, but I mean, that doesn't make any difference now to the fact that he's no longer with us. It's all around just sad, and I really don't like getting into it. Just like those of you that have watched my flight sim streams, and I talk about, you know, things that can go wrong in an airplane, but I almost never talk about plane crashes. I won't do it. But it's a little bit different. For me, plane crashes are personal. Deaths on roller coasters, and I'm not trying to diminish them in any way by saying this, but it isn't personal for me. I mean, yeah, I hear the news, and I'm saddened by it, and it's terrible, but plane crashes hit much closer to home for me, so I struggle to talk about that. I keep my blacking out to an excess of vodka and tonics. I try to brown out, not black out. Yeah. I'm not a heavy drinker. So, I black out after a few vodka Red Bull. That, I'm not going to say is, but it can be a dangerous combination. Y'all ever hear of, like, the Four Loko craze and everything like that, but then a lot of people were having, like, medical conditions. Like, people are going to the hospital for that. Hey, Roblox, welcome back. I'm sorry if I missed that. I thought I had, addressed that, but maybe not. I'm sorry if I didn't. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's absolutely tragic. I hate it that somebody lost their life. Coasters really are safe. There are some rigorous safety standards and procedures to make sure that people don't get hurt or, God forbid, killed. But, you know, stuff happens. It's just like aircraft. And I'm going to go back to it very briefly. Air travel is statistically by far the safest method of transportation. But something happens and it's big in the news. And it's absolutely tragic. That's why I feel safe on the Smiler. Yeah, I mean, these coasters are really, especially the newer ones, are, you know, put through rigorous tests to make sure that they're safe. Not just from a concept of keeping people, like, secure and alive and stuff like that, but also making sure that they're not going to be prone to any sort of injury due to excessive forces or I'd recommend the 1977 Thriller roller coaster, by the way. Written by the guys who wrote Columbo. It's all about the clever dialogue, great suspense too. Now I'm thinking of the first Superman where he tells that to Lois Lane after the helicopter accident. Oh no! Well, helicopters are a little bit different. There's the reason they don't use helicopters for mass transportation. Roller Coaster is a very underrated film. It's actually one that I'm not familiar with. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I've not watched it, and I don't know much about it. I really hope you all don't mind that I'm getting, like, almost nothing accomplished, but I'm having such a good time being back on with you all that I don't care if you tie me up in the chat. Figuratively. I need to qualify that. I'm back, sorry, but what did you think of my Vekoma tilt? JP, I don't know if you heard me say it, but it actually failed. It didn't make it up the final lift. Do I need to save? I haven't done anything in this. It gets a bit slow in the middle, and Richard Widmark got on my nerves after a while, but it's still a great movie. I hope I said that right. Let me go back in, JP, because we did the POV, and then I didn't really comment on it because I got distracted in chat. I'm not blaming you all, by any means. I don't know, I'm just on here hanging out. I don't even care that much that I really haven't done much. I'm having such a good time with you all. I genuinely, I needed the break, and I had a great few days of not streaming and not really doing anything. But I sincerely missed you all. So, JP, what happened is, coming up this here, the drive tires didn't kick in because you have brakes all the way up, and the coaster ended up rolling back. Today, one of my favorite Roblox games is back after being shut down for 8 weeks because of Amtrak. Oh. I'm having a good time too. It's always nice chatting with you and others in chat. Man, I appreciate that. By more chances of injury, cars are first, trains are second, planes are third, or boats. Cars are definitely first. Trains and boats, I'm not sure how they rank. Because if you think about it, boat travel really isn't that common anymore. Of course, that was before aviation was really established as a primary method of transportation. I made the break 66. What do you mean? Helen Hunt's to playing Siegel's daughter. Oh. Yep. Right here, JP. It rolls back. What you need to do... I see. Oh, the deceleration rate is... That's not the issue, but the problem is you don't catch it with drive tires. You have block brakes all the way up. So the train can't roll. What you need to do is actually a lift hill here, unfortunately. Let me go to the remaining 90-something% of the coaster. It's got a good layout. You're still, like, one thing that you really need to work on, and I'm saying this with emphasis because so many of your coasters don't have it. And it's something that I'm seeing on almost all of your creations. And with that said, they're great. You know, great concepts, great layouts. I really like what you're trying to do. You need to add more banking when you curve. I really like this element right here. Nice pop of airtime. Comes around. Then you have the tilt right here. This is really neat. Your banking over here is actually better. You know what even you could do? Run your brakes here, have your exit station, and then just a transfer. But honestly, this is kind of a waste in my opinion. Why have it go uphill into an exit station and then just a tilt track, a very expensive component, just to get it to get back? Unless, the only thing that I could think of is if you had a specific terrain scenario that you wanted to where the exit would be really high up, and your only practical way for getting the coaster back down was a tilt. But honestly, you could just do a drop section into there. I read somewhere they actually wanted KISS, but they turned them down. Ironically, it would be the best thing KISS were involved with. Huh. The band Sparks say appearing in the film was their biggest regret. I'm missing a little bit in chat. You do. So, you know, in that case, if you're using autocomplete in any sections, that often does kinda adverse things to the coaster. When it smooths it out, it messes up the banking. Or if you use the smoothing tool, sometimes if you're a little bit too high on the smooth intensity, it'll do that. So what I recommend is when you smooth your coasters, you start with a setting of like 5, and if that isn't sufficient, turn it up slowly. Turn it to 6 or 7. If that still doesn't fix it, turn it up to 8. Don't go 10 right out of the gate, because that's actually messed up several of my coasters. Sorry, Shem and I are having our own conversation about roller coaster. Okay. I do 2 offset and I only did 4 on smoothing. Then I think you're just not using enough banking. Like right here is okay, but coming up into this there's very, very little. And I can't even get finalized test results because it's not making it into the station because it's rolling back, but I could view it this way and see kind of what this train does. It's not terrible right there, but this would be... It peaks here, if I had to take a guess, that's probably going to be close to about 3. And for a curve that gradual, that's just way too high. Kind of right up here, you're getting probably about 2.5 there. It's not bad by any means, and I'm not trying to be overly critical. It was intentional for that outer bank. You mean right here? But it doesn't even really feel outer banked. If you're gonna do a true outer banked curve, make sure you add enough banking the other way, because this just looks like it's not banked. And again, that's one of the biggest things that I see with most of your coasters, is the banking is not one way or the other. It's not significant enough to feel intentional. It feels like it's just underdone. Surprise, boy, am I glad this is not RCT2. Anybody remember that in RCT2 when the trains would collide and it would kill everybody on the ride? I always felt so bad when I noticed that your coaster has crashed. X number of people have died riding your coaster. I feel so bad when I would do that. My wife was super curious as to why I was so happy the other day. I showed her why. She was very impressed with your castle featuring a bar and featuring an arcade. And I don't really collab much, I haven't at all. It's something that you should get into. It's something that I really want to do. It's often Dale recommending it, and he says, hey, collab with me, fix my stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm good enough to fix your stuff, especially coasters. Like, Bromik and Jimpers are really the best at coaster making. You should collab with them. JP does a fantastic job at theming. Alright. But this... yeah, you've got to fix the final part of the ride there. But JP, I do like what you have going. You've got a great layout. I think you have some really good elements in the ride. But I can't really evaluate it since it isn't... I have a perfect way for everyone to do what they do. Alright, let's hear it. Heading off. Alright, Leon, have a great rest of the night, alright? Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you. I'm glad your wife liked that I made you happy. Lord forgive... Oh my gosh! Oh man! Oh, I'm sorry about the spike there. Wow. So we could start a park someday and collab with everyone so they can all do what they specialize in one park. Would you all be interested in doing that for like a recreation of a park? Yeah, One Shot Motorsport, welcome in. Leon, you're one of the kings. Oh man. It's 2025. What? Don't get too R-rated. We've got kids here. Well, I don't know if we actually have kids, but... I try to keep my streams relatively family-friendly, so... You get a lot of content creators... And I mean, to be fair, most of the time they'll put like an 18+ warning. And they cuss like sailors. Now, I'm not saying I'm a saint by any means. I'm not proud of it. I'll be the first to say that I can have a pretty filthy mouth at work. But I try to make my content clean, just because I do know I have a lot of younger watchers and stuff like that. And I try to be a good influence. I try to be positive. I try not to be profane. I mean, we all use, like, mild, you know... I don't even want to say profanity. I'm saying yes to that's something I would be interested in doing, to share a franchise park. I think that would be a really cool idea. We'd have to decide kind of what we would want to do with that. If we want to create something and just make things realistic, or if we would want to try to replicate a real-world park. Or my idea would be take a real-world park, create the coasters, but maybe make your own kind of spin on it. Like I would say if we created a Busch Gardens, I'm just going to use that because I talked about it earlier. Make the rides, Montu, Kumba, Shikra, Cheetah Hunt, stuff like that, but maybe make our own twists on it and stuff. Theme it realistically, but have a little bit of creative liberty. And I had a discussion, it was probably a couple months ago at this point, when I had asked would somebody be interested in seeing me recreate a park, and it seemed like the consensus was no to full accuracy, but using a real-world park as a basis for something in this game was a good idea, while taking, I love the words, creative liberties. You make it your own, but you make it kind of in the spirit of what the real-world park is. As in, don't make a coaster called Griffin and... Or make it, you know... Don't create a coaster called Shikra and make it in the theme of Griffin or some other... You know, some other dive coaster that has really nothing to do with it, but... Could we make Shikra better than it really is in the real world? Maybe. Artistic license. I really like that term too. That's another way of saying creative liberty. It's not realistic, but it's not a good idea. What do you mean by that? Recreations are lame. You gather inspiration from whatever your favorite parks are, but do your own thing. Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's what happened with me in Kentucky Kingdom. I started working on it based faithfully, but now I'm just making a park that was inspired by it, but looks nothing like it. Yeah. And I mean, you could even make something that looks somewhat like it, but with, you know, some variations and stuff like that, absolutely. Alright, let me come back to this. I think I do want to go ahead and start kind of cleaning this up a bit, because if we move all of this back into a proper, like, water park entrance and area, you could have all of your front buildings here. It's like I hate watching cover bands, but I like watching bands that draw inspiration from other bands. That's a really good analogy. Alright, so tell you what I'm going to do right here. We're going to add... I'm going to try to create some sort of, like, a natural boundary between the main park and kind of the area that I'm designating for the water park. We can turn avoid paths off. We could even clear some of that out and curve that a little bit more. Oh, went a little bit far there. Not happy with that there. Come on! I think I need to create a custom brush that doesn't place so many of these large trees. I don't dislike the trees, but they take up so much space compared to the juniper trees and the spruce trees. Alright, so tell you what, I'm actually going to take these trees out right now. And That's probably good there. Yeah. Alright. And then what I'll do is delete... Oh! Yeah, we'll delete that there. And what I'll do is kind of... Yeah, make a little more of a natural curve right there. I think that looks better. I think you accidentally blocked Motor because you don't see his comments. He keeps retracting them. I only see one pulled. One thing that you could do, make sure if you have your chat window set to top chat, sometimes they don't show up, so if you go to live chat, you'll see everything. What, are you serious? That reset? Well, that didn't. Gosh. Come on! There we go. Well, that's a smaller one, so it's okay. Place that there. Go back in. We could add a couple trees over here, maybe. Nope. Yeah, there we go. I think that's okay. We could even... I love spruce trees, so we'll just add a couple more. And then we could even... just a few kind of... yeah, not like that there. Yeah, there we go. Thank God I'm way too old to try to figure out how to unblock. Yeah. I just updated my iPhone and it changed everything and I'm about ready to go back to 2 tin cans and a string. Should get the 17. I think he's talking about the software, probably. iOS, or iOS. I always said iOS, just short, even though the official is iOS. I got the 17 Pro, and I love it. I had the 13 before I got this one, and the 13 was a great phone, but just when you have a phone that's 3.5 years old, you get some performance reductions, and the battery life just wasn't great. So I'm pretty happy. Taking inspo from the aesthetic of a certain park and or aspects of a park's layout, you have a decent starting point to still create something unique yourself. I fully agree with that, Shem. That's generally how I like to do a lot of my stuff. Not necessarily the park as a whole, but coasters. Like, all of the coasters that I build, with few exceptions, are inspired by something that I've been on or seen in the real world. someone had recreated Dorney Park in Planet Coaster, and it was amazing, right down to the garbage cans. I don't have the patience for that. Wow. Alright, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a really good natural boundary for the, kind of for the water park area. So we have to clean this up. Kind of reorganize some of the buildings. We could even have a path branch out kind of around this way. Or the other thing, let me open up a poll, because I've thought of this. Alright. Gonna step away real quick. I'll let you all vote in the poll, and when I come back, we'll figure out what to do. Alright, we're back. I love that we have a bit cooler weather finally, and can actually open up the like the windows and the sliding door in my house and everything like that, just to let the place air out. It's actually kind of warm in here. It was chilly this morning. Let me get caught up on chat here. Got the orange one. I'm future-proofing me losing my phone. I got the dark blue one. One of my coworkers, he got the max. I just got the regular-sized Pro. He got the silver and a black case. I got the blue with the black case. I wanted a dark blue case, but I couldn't get it. They were out of stock, so I'm like, well, I gotta get something. I did get a nice blue case for my iPad. I mentioned that earlier. Orange is my second least favorite color right after yellow. There wasn't a yellow 17 Pro series. Alright, so we have 2 votes for yes and 2 votes for no. Somebody needs to break the tie. Oh, excuse me. Got a hiccup. Alright, let's go ahead and just start moving some stuff around. So if I go in and multi-select. Whoa, kind of stuck in the trees. More OCD and anxiety filled, but thanks for the compliment. It's not totally lined up, but it's pretty close. We can kind of refine that a little bit if we need to. Alright, we got a tiebreaker. Oh, and somebody just retied it. Oh my gosh. So we need another tiebreaker. Oh man. Alright, so we've got this over here. Right over here we have a couple more of these. Pick those up and move them. We could put them adjacent. I'm not really sure how I like that though. Oh, and yeah, now those line up perfectly. So we've got 3 changing rooms and a restroom right there. And then I would say what we would do here is kind of tie all of this together with path. Just kind of some stamps. Let's actually remove that, and let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make that a straight edge, and we actually could do the same thing on the opposite side with shops and the guest service counters and stuff. This here can get removed, and what we'll probably end up doing is tying this all together and making kind of a main walkway out this way. Pathing difference makes no sense. Yeah, that wasn't intentional. It's just what I clicked on. So what I think we'll do is actually convert all of this. That's all right. This would need to be changed, but that's all gonna go away anyway. I'm ADHD and an illustrator, and purely for the reason there will be aspects of a park recreation I can't replicate like I don't attempt. Same with real coasters, yeah, I agree. Maybe we'll widen that right there too. Heck, I mean, even... Oh, it doesn't quite link up, but it's close. Just a little bit wider right here. I think that's the reason I can't recreate exactly. It's too frustrating instead of relaxing, and the game has limits. Yeah, it definitely does, so you kind of have to work within the limits of the game. But that said, I think you can still do probably 98% of what you would need to do to recreate a ride. It's generally the more major elements that I think you can't. And that can definitely be a little bit more of a... Tell you what, let's actually do this. Now we have a wide path coming into over here. And then on the opposite side, I suppose we should... Let's see, we've got the guest service counter right there. Splash Emporium. And then, yeah, just food and drink. Okay. Other side we'll have restaurants and shopping. What happened to the Main Street City entrance idea, by the way? It's slowly coming together. We ended up placing Brawmix's Giant Castle right over here, so that covers a lot of it. And then on this side, we just haven't really developed it. Probably some restrooms and... actually, we don't even need a guest service counter because we have one right back here at the entrance of the park. And then we could do a couple other, you know, small shops and stuff that they don't have in here. Kind of over along here. And then we just have to decide what to do with kind of this corner. Maybe we link that a little bit more streamlined of a curve, and that gives us more room to build out over here. The castle you asked for ruined the whole Main Street entrance. I hope you're happy. I am. I am. It's an absolutely fantastic addition to this park. And I think it fits really well. Will you be willing to put in sorcery-themed buildings? Yes, but it kind of depends where. Oh, that was meant for... Oh, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, yep, even if it wasn't meant for me, I still love it. It was just so fantastic. I say we build that like that there. I think the theming fits that castle, my chocolate chip cookie. I need somebody to break that tie. We're still at 50%, because somebody voted and then somebody else voted the opposite. So we're tied again. Alright. Tell you what. Where's Jimbers? He needs to know his prom date is calling me Cookie. Oh, man. Y'all are a riot. Alright, so my thought is the Splash Emporium would actually be better next to a pool. Although, it would make sense to have one kind of over here at the so-called entrance. That way, everybody can just get what they want. We could even do a modular shop, kind of over here in the front of the park. I think a restaurant. No, you know what? Because we have this one up here. It's close enough that we could just do snacks and stuff like that. So let's actually pick this up and move it kind of opposite here. Center it against these right here. There definitely is. The guest services or guest info. So the first one is all the way here, right opposite the main entrance of the park. And then the other one, which people will need for a pool pass, is right here. So we could easily pick that up and move it. Maybe like that. Just a tiny bit offset from these. That would add a little bit of room for some, yeah, if we do that, we have more room for these trees. Well, a couple right there. I wish we could send gifts in chat. That would actually be pretty funny. A lot of people have said I need to make a Discord. I have not, I have not forgotten about that. I think I will at some point. Alright. Then I think for everybody over here that we should definitely do a staff room. And that really should cover everything for the water park. I was thinking that 5 minutes ago. Alright, the last one is the Splash Emporium. I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna leave the coaster for now. Once we kinda expand out this direction, we'll revisit the idea. I'm gonna open up a different poll. Alright, there we go. I'll let you all vote. Loving this park, though. I'm glad, Shem. It's really come a long way. I know I've said this before, but for anybody who might not know, this was actually the first full-scale park that I started way back in January when I first got the game. Before the tropical one, before the mythology one. It's changed a lot. But it's really coming along nicely, if I may say so. Polls suck, be a man, Jake. Well, hey, it's all about that community engagement, you know? Alright, so we've got 2 votes for making a modular shop, 1 for placing it at the entrance, and 1 for placing it next to a pool. I'll let it run for a couple more minutes. But that was kind of my thought too, was going with a modular shop. I think a really nice large-scale modular Splash Emporium could be a good addition. Now, this over here we can delete a lot of. We could even move the solar panel back a little bit out of the way. They will need access temporarily to that until we decide what to do with all of this pathing here. I'm thinking we could do a water slide back here, but we would need a pool for it. But I also have not forgotten about the idea of a diving pool that I want to create, and it might make sense to do that over here. Have your pools to just hang out on one side and have your slides on another, but it might be a good idea to kind of space them out a little bit more. We've got a staircase right over here that we can tie in. I'm thinking we even redo the pathing right here slightly. I have a modular shop right here, although it has a bit of everything. We could redo this. I mean, when I'm thinking that we're gonna redo this whole area, especially if we do end up moving this coaster, this will go away. And we'll kind of tie it into, you know, maybe a ride station over here, or something standalone. Kind of in a better location, though. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll, and... gonna go ahead and delete that. Oh! This has failed. Attach it to a path. Somebody can fix it. We'll clean all of that up here. Then I'm thinking we'll do the modular shop over here, perhaps. Maybe even back behind these. Alright, tell you what, we're gonna pull those up. We'll do a couple stamps right there. And we'll kind of tie in like that. That way if people are over here, they want to get down a little quicker, they don't have to walk all the way around here. We could even... yeah, why not? Add a little scenery right here. Yeah, how about that giant tree right in the middle of all of that mess? Come on! Well, we could go with a couple of those. That is too close to the tracks. No. That's okay there. That'll actually help the prestige of both pools. We really can't move this coaster back much. I'm gonna delete that. And what I think I am gonna do, even if we don't move the coaster, is we're gonna buy ourselves a little bit of space by redoing the water over here. So we'll get it to kind of come out this way. Maybe up underneath, kind of here. They're not making any money anyway. Let me see what we have over here for food options. That's our guest service shop. We have a hot dog squad and slush hour over there. Up top, we have... oh, another slush hour. We should switch that out. Gelato Bros. And the restroom and changing room. How about... instead of a slush hour right here, what if we go with... wait for that person to buy something. We could do a Cosmic Cow milkshake, we could do Gulpy soda, we could do Pip Shot juice, Soda Lightfall. I think I'm gonna go with a milkshake. Oh. Connect to path. Oh, it is. Okay, there we go. Did you know in 1999, during a coaster event at Adventureland, Iowa, an operator who wanted fired ran outlaw CCI Woody without brakes, which added about 5 years of wear in about 1 hour. Wow! Well, I guess that'll be a good way to get fired. That probably could make for an uncomfortable ride for some people as well. Alright, so we've got Cosmic Cow for the milkshakes, and we've got the slush hour up here. Gelato Bros, the hot dogs, so that leaves a little bit of room for something like a Chief Beef, Pizza Pen, Viva la Vegan. We could do a Heya Sushi over here too. Maybe we'll set up the kind of this whole area can be like a little bit of a mini main street. We don't really have much in terms of rocks over here for, or really throughout the park for scenery. Now that's probably good right there. Space those out a little bit. That doesn't want to link up anywhere. Interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and just set a couple tiles. There we go. I don't think this needs to be a really large, that's a start. We can add to it if needed. Well, let's actually set up the shop now. Pool floats, of course. Well, let's go through and actually decide what we're gonna sell. That'd be the first thing to figure out here. I don't think we need to do jigsaws. I don't think we really need umbrellas because the guest service counter can sell those. We might add a second one. Plushies, pool floats and rings, obviously. We'll do all three of those. Pool rings. Can do those. Don't think we really need any of those that are not themed. So we could do a few different pool ring. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to do, you know, a few options for balloons. They're balloons. Right? I mean, if we wanted to do mascot props, we could. Some hats. Why not? We could even do... I wish you could do, like, swimwear or something like that. That would actually be pretty cool. I thought of that too, swimwear. I guess it would make sense to have swimwear for sale if you forgot yours or spilled something on the one you had. Yeah, right? I mean, a lot of parks that have, like, water park areas and stuff like that do sell swimsuits and stuff. I think we'll actually switch the luxury balloons off and we'll just do the regular. We'll just do character balloons for these. And you've got your floats, you've got your pool rings. We could do... We could do a few of these kind of floating islands. Whoa, no. Only duplicate those. Let me grab these and just move them slightly. Try to get those a little bit better centered. Yeah, I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and make a building. Somebody's stuck. Really? Let me give you all a hand. There. There you go. Oh, I've been on for 3 hours already. Wow. Doesn't feel like that long. Probably going to be getting off in the next few minutes. Alright, let's go ahead and, see, that actually fits pretty well. We just kind of have to recenter this. Alright, tell you what, let me put that there. And oh, see, that's gonna be... Actually, that won't be that bad, because we just delete these here. And then we just have these right here. Just delete those. And then that there's not bad. It's nearly 3 a.m. here, so good night to yourself and everyone on here. Alright, Shem, thanks so much for hanging out. It was good to see you again. Yeah, have a great night. And then I feel like we could actually... Yeah, we could definitely slide that back just a tiny bit. And then we'll just... realign there. And I think just a 2-meter wall piece right up here. Actually a 1 meter. Oh, not quite high enough. We just do another one that's a meter. Oh, come on. There's a little bit of overlap there, but that's probably okay. And then if we want to grab these and shift them just a little bit over. And I think we've got a pretty good building. It's a super easy station to work with. And then the tricky part is just going to make sure that it is aligned with the paths properly. That looks pretty on point to me. I think that's good. I think we can go ahead and connect this and open it up. So what we'll do is a couple more stamps right here. Looks pretty good. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not too bad. That's not aligned totally. Well, I meant to click on the arch, not that back wall. Then what we even could do oh, see, no, there's a little bit of clipping. pixel. Way too... And then we could certainly adjust the colors of all of this if we wanted to. Go with a gray on top, kind of. Let's move those off the wall there. And then I think these also do change. Yeah, they do. Oh, that looks a bit better. And then this may end up looking a little bit tacky. But I'm thinking if we go with like a Splash Emporium sign of some sort up on the top. Kind of help you know, identify the, that way there, I mean, people know. Actually, let me go ahead and put that one back. We could even we could even taper this in a way. Excuse me. I'm gonna make these couple rounded arches right there. Stamp builder there. Yeah. And then we could even make like a little plaza or a fountain or something right there in that area. There, that way some people have balloons, and then they can just get some other goodies over here. We'll clean up that path. We'll build out that way, and then we'll also have to decide if we're going to move this coaster or not. But I think this shop can pretty much go away. I mean, we definitely don't need the pool rings and floats and stuff like that. Some of this other stuff we could just move to somewhere, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do is reroute this here. I don't know exactly, though. It's in a little bit of a tough spot with this dive coaster right here. Because ideally what I'd like to do is pull this coaster just backwards a little bit. But the dive right there, unless we remake any of it to come out this way and not go back that way, but I'm not even gonna attempt to deal with that right now. And just kind of some food for thought. But I think I've got a little bit of a better foundation of what I want this to be. I could definitely add some more scenery and stuff over here for people to enjoy to use this pool. This is definitely the more popular of the two. It's larger. It does have the better scenery score and stuff, so. Yeah, I'm thinking if we revamp this over here, I'm gonna bring the path in and maybe make a plaza over here, but kinda have to end up redoing some of this coaster here, which is something I've considered, so. But, yeah, almost nobody getting on this now. It's a shame. This should be so much more popular in this park than it is. This over here is getting a pretty decent turnout, though. I haven't really had many people buy stuff from here. Yeah, neither of these two coasters are really getting the love they deserve, which is kind of sad. Makes me wonder about redoing parts of it. Not the coasters themselves, but kind of maybe just relocating the rides to a different area of the park where more people would be inclined to go out that way. But I'm curious about revamping the path. Get more foot traffic through the area. I wonder if that would draw more attention to the coaster. This one over here, I think, enough people pass by it. I just don't know why they're not getting on it, but let's see how this is doing. Well, it's become a classic, but this again really just doesn't have many people getting on it, and I think part of that is it's just not a lot of people seem to come this way, and then it's kind of off the beaten path. But it at least has become a classic. Coaster usually has a longer line than it does right now. I wonder if people are kind of venturing to other stuff. But yeah, almost 3.5 hours in. I think I am going to go ahead and call it an evening here. It's been fun. I won't be on tomorrow because I have to work. Sunday I should be around, and then most likely Monday. There's actually a pretty good chance I won't work Monday, so. But we got some good stuff going on here. Let me save the park. We can just resume there. And, yeah, it's really been great to be back tonight. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Had a pretty good turnout, which is nice. But it's just been really fun catching up with everybody. Kind of getting back into it. So, stay tuned for Sunday. We'll be back on. Be doing a lot of fun stuff in the park. Have a good night. Hope tomorrow doesn't suck. I appreciate that. Ooh, little static in the mic there. Usually when I work weekends, they are generally pretty chill. I get to spend more time outside, which I enjoy. So, other than the fact that it's work, it definitely should be a much better day than the average, the usual weekday. So, I do appreciate it. See you Sunday, Monday. I should be on both. Almost certainly Sunday. Unless by chance the weather forecast changes and it ends up looking decent enough to spend the day up at Carowinds, but I'm not counting on that. So, I'm counting on being home and just relaxing and hanging out and streaming Sunday. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. Have a great night, Brolmic. Thanks for hanging out. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope to see you all back. Again, it's been fantastic being back on and hanging out with everybody. So, we'll see you next time, and as always, until then, take care, stay safe, we'll see ya.